Flory Models, I'm Flory. Busy week this week. Hopefully you're enjoying the new format, the way it was all laid out and everything else like that. So a quick recap what's happened this week. First of all, Saturday. Normally we don't do updates on Saturday, but Saturday I put up the review for the F35 Lightning B. If you haven't seen it, just scroll down here and you'll find it, or it's in the review section. As I said, it's a strange kit, and speaking to people since they've seen the review that have built it, they've said that, you know, some of the instructions are sort of a little bit iffy, shall we say, and there's a few items missing on the instructions about, you know, actually putting it together, but altogether it does make quite a nice kit. Now, it started a little bit of a storm on this particular one because we were talking about how I feel that the raised panelling, shall we call it, for it's like the ram areas that you can see down here. They do tend to be very much sort of overdone and overkilled. And then I had an interesting couple of emails talking to a guy who actually works on one of these things, who was pointing out to me that you know, they are there, but obviously not as pronounced as they are on the other one. It's the join areas of how it all, you know, we're going into great detail, and obviously I'm sure a lot of it's classified. He couldn't tell me either how it actually works, but how these panels actually work and what they're actually doing and things like that. So it's great to talk to him, and he happened to clarify a few points on it that are obviously, you know, different to what the kit is and everything else. And hopefully he'll be building it soon, so he'll be able to fill us in on all the exact details of it. But having somebody who actually works on them really does help quite nicely. Next up, on Monday, Hans started more work on the actual Black Widow aircraft itself, working through with photo etch parts and various things like that. If you haven't seen any of Hans's builds before, you really have to see those. Absolutely fantastic. Just click on that one and you'll go through. Hopefully you're enjoying the new system now. I know a lot of you said about obviously scrolling on forever. We have a sort of menu system set in place now where literally just click the part you want to see, and it should be short, a little bit concise. Obviously they do run on. I try and keep them all sort of roughly the same length, but hopefully, you know, it'll just be a lot easier. And obviously if you are using tablets, things like that, you know, scrolling through can be a bit problematic. It's only load so many photos at a time. But again, great work by him of a lovely aircraft, totally in depth, lots of aftermarket parts and everything else like that, well worth a good look. Tuesday. It turned up actually on Monday morning, so I really did sort of throw through this one. We spoke about doing the Tamiya Corsair and going through the review of it. Now, you just know when you're buying these kits. If you haven't seen the review, it's a half-hour review on it. And basically, I just go through all the parts and everything else. Slightly disappointed with it. It's got no movable parts, you know, such as we've seen on the other ones before. I cover it in there of how we've got movable parts and gear that you can have either up or down, and with the actual wings up or down. You know, you think you can't, you can only have it in the up position. The gear is up or down, so when you're building it, you're either going to have it as an in-flight pose, or sort of on the ground with the wings down, or you're going to have it all folded up. So choice with that. Nice little touch. So you can open up this cowling at the front here to reveal that gorgeous engine, and it really is a lovely detailed engine, probably the best one I've seen actually with, you know, in plastic instead of resin. You just know with Tamiya, when you buy it, you are buying a kit that will just fall together. Okay, it's more like assembly. You know, you're basically just assembling the parts, you put them together, and then you paint it at the end of it. It's not like doing some of the other older kits, shall we say, or the lesser manufacturers, where you do need some modelling skills to put it together and come away with a good kit. One of these is really a no-brainer. You know, short of the painting and everything else, going together, really, really straightforward, very, very easy. And it shows the level of investment that Tamiya continue to make with all their kits and everything else like that, that they, they're striving to push forward. It was just a little disappointing that I was hoping that perhaps you'd have options on it to have the gear up or down, but with the complexity of the gear and the size of the wings and trying to do it like that, of having them so they can be up and down and bits and pieces, then, you know, perhaps not. And on the other hand, it is a model. We're not going to be flying it around the room. Well, probably a little bit, but anyway, normally, you know, it's just going to sit on the shelf, so you're going to pick a particular way of having it. It's just, I do like the option with the Spitfire and the Mustang, because at the moment, I show in the video, they're in sort of gear up position as if they're flying, and then I sometimes put the gear on it and I put them in a different pose, and it makes it feel like you've got extra models for your money. My particular one, a lot of people are asking about where I got it in the UK. I didn't get it in the UK. I actually ordered this one on pre-order from Lucky Models when it very first came out. I got it into the country for £80 delivered, okay, and everything else like that. I'm not sure when they are going to be in the UK. I've had probably about 30 emails asking when it's going to be out in the UK. I'm not sure yet. I assume it is on a slow boat coming over at the moment in some container somewhere. But certainly, as I say, mine came from Hong Kong and got airmailed over to me direct. So anyway, that's why I got mine a little bit before everybody else. and nothing else. So there we go. As you said, go and see the review of it. I talk about it, I go through all the sprues and my opinions on it as well. So, but as I said, it is a fantastic kit. Yes, we will be building it, so give us a couple of weeks to get some of this other stuff out of the way. I want to get going on the ship. I want to get the Merkava tank completed before I start on this one, but certainly keep an eye out over the next couple of months, because this one will be started and be made into a video build, which obviously you guys can watch me as I go through the build. Same as the F-35, I'll be doing that one and the Jaguar as well. So that's it. Part 8 on the Phantom build was up next on Wednesday. You're a little bit behind, you can see it down here already. And as you can see, I went to town with the sort of weathering on this one to push it through. Basically, it's just the washes and everything else on this one. It's very, very straightforward. This basically, we talk about the painting, going through the painting and starting the weathering process, because it's sort of a multi-layered weathering thing on this one, okay? So what I wanted to do was show you how you can sort of go as far or as little as you like. I probably went overboard on this, and I talk about it when you get to later parts near this, that I've probably gone a little bit over the top with the weathering on it. But it's one of those things, it's artistic license, it's a piece of art, I enjoy it, I talk about it at length in the video build as I'm showing doing all of this. Basically, all this is done is a little bit of post shading with the original colour and washes. That's all that has had on this one to make it look as grimy, as dirty as it is. So quite interesting. I do show it at great lengths about how I get all this mottling effect and all this sort of griminess all over this one, especially this patching on the top and everything else. And it's very, very straightforward, very, very easy to do. But as I said, you'll catch up with that one in a few weeks. Anyway, next up we had, where else were we? We did Stefan's Bismark. Okay, it's absolutely a masterclass in photo etch work and aftermarket parts on any type of shipbuilding. It really is, you know, an amazing build. If you haven't seen it, go and have a look at it. Again, I've broken it down into parts now, so you don't have to scroll for miles and miles and miles on there. Okay, just click on it. But as I said, it's one of those things that a lot of people, they sort of, you know, you sort of think you can't do it, and then you see sort of somebody else show you and you think, oh, I could have a go at that. But certainly photo etch parts and weathering and everything else on a ship, it's absolutely fantastic. So we're making our way through that, but again, Stefan's been, you know, caught up with the weather the same as I've been, and we were discussing it this week, saying about spraying in the heat is an absolute nightmare. So he's taken a little bit of time out from it, so we're sort of catching him up on the build now as those parts go through. But again, beautiful work done by him, very easy to follow, and he shows you step by steps in the photos exactly how he goes about doing those particular builds and everything. Thursday saw Ross's aircraft go up there. Now this is, we spoke about it last week, the fine, what do they call it, fine structures, P51. Now you can see it here. It's one of those things where, you know, we talked about the, who is it? I've got to think now. It's the Zucamori range of kits where you have all the internals. Well, this is sort of going to the extreme of that, where it's only internals. You don't get any skin for it at all, okay? And it has every single spar and former in the actual aircraft and everything else, as well as fully detailed interior, guns, engine, and all the bits and pieces that go with it. I should imagine it's one of those things, you buy the kit thinking, oh yeah, and then it turns out you think, my God, what have I let myself in for? But Ross is working his way through this absolutely beautifully, lovely clear photos, great descriptions of how it's all going together and everything else like that. So if you haven't seen it, well worth having a look. And obviously as he makes his way through the build, we'll be following here on Flory Models and keeping you up to date on the Today page as we work our way through that. Okay. Then obviously today, so today brings us up to date. I've got quite a bit that I've done. One of the ones I've done is talking about bombs and painting bombs and things like that. So as you can see, it's only a little 5-minute video, but it's how I paint a bomb instantly and getting the banding around the top, which is quite realistic looking and everything else, and about if you were doing banding on aircraft, and it's about using O-rings. Okay, I bought a load of O-rings off of eBay for sort of £3, and I used them for doing it. It's a little 5-minute video, it's right below here, okay? Click on it, watch it. It's a standalone, so it will be on the site as well in the tips area. But as I said, it's just a really quick way of how I paint bombs with no trouble at all by using neat paint and going through it. So it's well worth looking at it. Although this one isn't going to be armed with it, it certainly, you know, was a great way for me to show you very, very quickly. So that's there. Jonas is Zero, beautiful work on this one again. He's working his way, he's actually finished it now, so we're going to be catching up quite quickly over the next week or so. Okay, again, masterclass in weathering, putting together the kit in the correct order, little things like the geared doors, they have to go in early, so he's painted that particular area, then he catches up with the paintwork for the rest of it a little bit later on. But it's lovely the way he masked it out, weathered it all in and done it all as a separate, so he can mask and protect that area when he does the rest of it, and then blends the two together. Great way of doing it, lovely clear photos, and as I said, when you get on with the sort of further stages, it's absolutely fantastic, lovely and clear photos as you go through. Next part is up on the Phantom, which we talk about decaling. It's purely decaling on this one. Really, it's just to show how to get them down there having no problems. And I do have to say, the Cartograph ones that go for this particular Phantom, Cartograph probably the best in the world as I see it at the moment for decals. They go down beautifully. With Micro Industries Set and Sole, which I can show you. No, that's glued. Get the right ones. There we go. With these two little guys here, these are my softeners of choice. Great products. I put a little bit of Set, which is the softener. I know, it's weird. Okay, that goes in my water supply. Okay, and then we have the sole for brushing in afterwards to get them to bite down, shrink down, and conform to all the panel lines, riveting detail, and everything else. No silvering on this whatsoever. And to be honest, the surface wasn't very nice. It was pretty textured, pretty gritty because of the weather and everything else like that when I painted this one. Needless to say, this one is now really poking ahead quite nicely. You've got the next one, which we're going to talk about the weathering part on this one. This will be up early next week, and then latter part during the week we'll talk about finishing it off to this stage. I have got on order some brass rod. I've got some here, and what this one does at the moment, we've got the bolt in here at the moment, but this will screw into the bottom and then it will go onto a display stand. Originally, I was going to have this as an in-flight doing air-to-air refueling. I might still do that, but I've come up with another little idea for this particular one to make what I hope will be a fantastic little in-air diorama, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put it on a pole straight up 90 degrees. I was going to put it at some type of wacky angle and things like that, or plugging into the air refueling. I'm going to keep it nice and on the level because I do have an idea, which hopefully will be in time, all finished in time for Telford for the Nationals, and obviously you'll be able to see it there if you're coming to it, but you'll follow my progress with it here anyway. But as I said, it's just one of those things. Time might be a little bit tight. I've got a couple of big projects coming up between now and the autumn, so we'll just see how it actually goes, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get some of it done, if not all of it. But I do have a plan, so stay tuned with me and follow my builds on this one, and then obviously you can see exactly what I'm going to come up to. But I'm not going to commit to say anything at the moment until I start on it. Once I've started, I'm committed, and I'll finish the actual build as we go all the way through it. So there we go. Got to talk about a few little things. First of all, the forum has had a massive move about and a change round, and it caught a lot of you off guard. Quite a few emails about things being moved and that. What we've actually done, myself and Hans spent many hours on Sunday together. He's obviously in the US, I'm in England. We're talking on the phone as we're moving and deleting and changing things on the forum just to make it a little bit more streamlined. For instance, the big thing, which we'll talk about in a minute, prize draws, stuff like that, is at the top now. Okay, so it's really easy to get to. We've deleted some of the old, either misused, because a lot of it was used as a dumping ground for you didn't know where to put it, so it went in there, like general chat and stuff like that. So we've deleted that now, you know, and the modelling chat is more specific. We've created a couple of new categories on there for like civil stuff, so like civilian cars, motorbikes, buses, anything else like that that's sort of civil. That's got its own area in the site now and everything the way through, and they just really had a rejig, and we deleted all the old stuff. A lot of people have criticised me for deleting old members' posts. I tend to keep the forum fresh and up to date. So when members do leave us from the forum for whatever reason, then all their stuff is deleted, okay? Because they can't answer questions on it. Sometimes they delete their photos, so the photos don't show up. So we just have this policy now where when you leave, everything gets deleted, so you're not leaving anything behind either. The membership, as you know, is totally up to date. After 7 days of leaving, they go anyway. So what you see members is active members in the forum, okay? So obviously perhaps they don't all post, but certainly the sort of 1,500 in there that are all active and go in there at least every 7 days, you know, and that's how it works. So it keeps the forum very fresh. So if people ask questions on it, it doesn't just sit there then. And yeah, we don't get old stuff from years ago come back up from 2007 and suddenly appears at the top, and you think, what's that about? The guy left years ago. Okay. Okay, so that's what we've done. We've basically emptied out all the rubbish, all the junk, everything that didn't really relate to modelling has all gone, and then we've actually pushed things up and through. My section, which was obviously the Flory Models TV, you've probably seen has gone totally. That's no longer there. So all the stuff about the news shows where we used to talk about when the old ones, obviously they went back to 2006, they've all been deleted as well, because obviously there's no point it being there. And now we've just got one little bit and it says the today. So what I've done is, you now know, I get this entire news section feed appears live in the forum as well, and all the links are clickable to the main site from there. So as you see it on the actual main site, you can see it in the forum as well, just the same. So you can click back and forth with no problems at all. So if you want to see anything that's happened on today's page, just click in there and everything else like that. So it's very straightforward now. Very clean, very organised, and hopefully it just keeps the rubbish out, you know, and all the rest of it. So if you're not sure where something goes in the forum, have a think again, okay? Just don't dump it in somewhere when you make a post. Like, you don't know where to put it, think about it. If it's something to do with aviation and photography, or it's a video or whatever, that goes in that area, okay? If it's something to do with, like, you know, how to with weathering, we've got the section on weathering. If it's about painting, construction, we have those areas. And really it's just to stop everything ending up in certain areas, because we had massive threads which went on forever, which should have been in all the little areas. And I know Steve Sutcliffe especially works very, very hard, and Hans, going around moving your posts to the correct areas where they have to be. Okay, so if everyone takes a little bit of time, you can keep it all clean, keeps the forum flowing, and everyone knows where to look and make our way through. Speaking of which, we have the prize draw was finished, and I do have it written down here on a bit of paper. And the winner for last month's July one, which was a great turnout by the way, guys, we had the most entries we've ever had, was Scott Upham. Wasn't Upham the guy from, what's the film? Saving Private Ryan, Private Upham. That's the first time I've ever seen an Upham. Anyway, you were post number 125 on that particular thread for Count Me In. You get a year's free subscription as of August. Okay, we'll do August to August on that one. And you'll get a free set of sanders. Okay, so congratulations. The new one will start today. I'll pop it up on the site. Just remember, just pop in there. It's at the top now. Okay, so it's in the welcome you type bit at the top of the forum. Just pop in there, count me in, hi, whatever you want to put. It doesn't matter. Just make sure you get your entry in there the last day before the end. I tend to try and time it with the month. Okay, so if the news show falls near a Friday, you know, the actual end of the month's near a Friday, I tend to do it to that one, hence obviously first being yesterday. So obviously Sanders and all the rest of it. So what we do a free set of Sanders again and another year's free pass to the site. And what we've got now, you might be able to see these, okay? Now, if you've got an order in first for skinny sticks, there will be a delay over the weekend, purely because I haven't managed to package them up then yet. But what is, these are the new skinny sticks, which you can see have a nice core. Because in the past, they were all just white cores, okay? Now they're colour-coded. To be honest, I've only got the fine one here. This is the new fine one, okay? He's in green. And then the other colours we've got a yellow one and a red one. So now you can tell the difference at a glance of what you're picking up off your bench for the new skinny sticks, okay? So the green ones, obviously, is the fine ones and everything else. So we spent a little bit more money and now we have coloured ones, all right? We're also going to be doing a pack which will have 2 of the skinny stick range, okay, coming out. So it's a nice little pack for you. So you get 2 fine, 2 medium, 2 coarse, which, as you know, is 7 grits. No, 2, 4, 6, 6 grits on each, okay? Then obviously you'll get the skinny blue, 2 skinny blues and 2 skinny black polishers on there as well in a little set. So that's a new set that will be out mid next week, okay? So keep an eye on the site for that one. And sandy sheets going very well. You all seem to love them. Great feedback, guys. Let me know how you get on with them. Let me know how they last as well, because obviously it's all good feedback for me about improving the product and everything else like that. Okay, so that's skinny sticks. So if you have got an order and you've placed it from Thursday, okay, your order will probably go out on Monday. Okay, that is the way, because I'll just get them to go. It might go out Saturday as well, but there is just a sort of 24-hour, 48-hour delay about getting the orders out with skinny sticks, because I want you to get the new coloured ones, if I'm honest. Okay. And there we go. So that's that bit. Couple of questions. Somebody asked me today, Mark. Sorry, I can't didn't pronounce your last name, but Mark, spoke to him this week. We did a few emails back and forth. He's on about 172 kits. Why don't I build anything in 172? It seems all with me to be 148 and 132nd, okay? He was basically saying that he is with a group and they build models, youngsters and everything else, and it'd be great for me to do some 172nd kits. I totally agree. My problem with doing 172nd kits is, one, they're just very small and I can build them very, very quickly, and I felt probably there wasn't that much sort of worth me doing videos of them. But after speaking to you, I think there probably is. So what I would do is I will get hold of a few, probably the new Airfix range, because I quite like them, of the new 172nd kits, and perhaps we'll do some little mini builds, probably do it in 4 parts, okay, and we can work through and show about detailing them up. We'll do a couple of basics, a couple more detailed and things. So they will be coming up in the future, but I do take the point on board. It does seem to be all the big expensive stuff. What about cheap small kits? So I will be having a go at that. Last up today, the barbecue. Yes, guys, can you please let me know who's coming? Because, you know, not being funny, I'm going to pull my hair out if everyone turns up, alright? But we've got the Flory Models barbecue on Sunday. Members only. Remember, you have to have booked your place in the forum, so make sure you pop along to the forum and say, yes, I'm coming and I'll be bringing my partner, because don't forget, this is a social event. This isn't all us crammed in here as normal. You know, get 16 of us in here, which is our record for this room, which is amazing. But we've had 16 of us. What we're going to do, hopefully the weather's going to play ball. You look at the weather forecast and it says it's sunny. Then you look again, it says it's going to rain. If not, we're all going to be in the new carport. It's big enough, trust me. So we'll be next door. Between that and the shed, we'll all be good. Okay? But obviously, if you can let me know, then I can work out exactly how much we're going to need, all right? Because obviously I'm going to have to do quite a large shop on Saturday morning for all of this, all right? But it is Sunday. It's basically from midday onwards, so turn up any time you like. We'll probably be eating food-wise if you're thinking about that, because I know some of you got things to do in the morning. You're going to get here a little bit later, probably about mid-afternoon, something else like that. All right, but it's going to go on throughout the evening. Remember, it's a social one, so don't bother bringing your models and everything else, because honestly, we won't have room for it, and everything else like that. And then the month after, we get back to normal, and we'll get the members' meets going in here, probably the first Sunday-ish of the month, like we did last time, as we go through. So good to see you all on Sunday, and safe trips for everybody coming down, especially the Huddersfield, the northern fob crew who are making their way through. So guys, safe trip down. So we've got some of the guys from the northern side of the country who are coming down to see us and staying down for the weekend. So safe trip, everybody. That's about it for this week. Next week, say you're going to catch up nicely with the Phantom. Loads to go on that. Other things I've got on the go, you can probably see it. We have the stealth fighter. I keep want to say Shubba. Can't say that. Okay. Shubba is Ghost, is how they used to be called. So anyway, and also the Hawk, which I did a quick job on this, really just to see, to make sure I haven't made a complete cow of the bottom end of it, but it seems to be all very good. It all went in, all of those doors on the closed position and everything else. So we'll be working on the black. Those two, I'll get this one will be finished off and on its stand by the time you see next week's show. We've got the Nighthawks, basically I'm going to be working through that one with the stealth, and then I'll be working on the black, and then we are straight into the Merkaba tank and the ship. So might even get them started next week, if not, it'll be the week afterwards. So enjoy the weather, everybody. I think it's coming a bit to an end. We've had a bit of rain, but it might warm up again. As I say, remember, retarder in your paint, plenty of thinners, alright, and just lower your air pressure a bit, and that will help with your paintwork in hot weather. Well, that's the way I've been finding it, alright. So until next week, everybody, happy modelling and take care.